Good morning and welcome to Cooking Like a Champion, ready to take you on another culinary journey. Today, we're going to be making one of my famous, delicious cherry cream pie stuffed French toast. It's a bit of a breakfast dessert infusion. All right, welcome back. We're in the kitchen cooking like a champion, trying to teach you to do the same. As so far, we've made our Cherry Delight cream cheese stuffed French toast with the cherry drizzle. And then we've been snacking on the Glorious Malone's pate, which is very, very good. A little bit spicy, so I'm trying to get my tongue to kind of calm down. And now we're gonna be making I love this recipe, it's so good. Have you ever made creme brulee? Irish cream creme brulee. It's one of those things that a lot of people think are very, very hard to do because it sounds so fancy, but I think in reality in Italian, it's pretty much just custard. So, first thing that you wanna do is go ahead and get your eggs cracked. And with this one, just like the other one, you just want to use the egg yolks. So we're going to separate that. And please remember to separate the eggs from the yolk. I did this for an actual cooking class one time and I forgot to separate the eggs from the yolk. Man, it was not good. It was a hot mess. It pretty much came out like Irish cream pudding, but that's not what we're making. So like I always said before, always remember to whisk your eggs first so that you're not chasing the egg all around the bowl. So now to that, all I want to do is add in some sugar. And for those of you guys out there that are looking for those 4 to 5 ingredient recipes, even though creme brulee sounds so fancy, this is one of those. So as you see, I have my eggs and my sugar mixed in together, and that actually, to me, looks pretty good. It almost looked like you can go ahead and eat that, which I guess you kind of could, but we're gonna finish this off. So now we're gonna add in a little bit of this vanilla. Madagascar vanilla, which is excellent. If you guys don't have Madagascar, by all means, you can use any kind of brand that you want. Just don't use imitation stuff. Remember, we're trying to cook like a champion, so you want to use real solid ingredients that are good for your body. I'm a firm believer you can eat pretty much as you want, as long as you eat food that's real, that your body knows how to digest. So now the last thing we want to add to that is some of this good old Irish cream. And if you guys don't have Irish cream, I don't expect you guys to go out and buy a bottle. You can just use heavy whipping cream, dig in your cabinet, get that whiskey out, mix that together, now you have Irish cream, homemade. All right, now that we have that whisked up nicely. So the really trick about creme brulee, I don't know if you guys have ever made cheesecake before, is you want to make sure that you put it in a water bath. So all I did is I took this like little rack right here and I got probably about a 9x8 baking pan. You're going to set that rack right in there. So when you actually put your ramekins in there for your creme brulee, they sit and they're not touching the bottom. That's very, very important because you don't want your creme brulee to overcook. The last thing that we want to add is about a cup of whipping cream. The recipe that I'm doing is a half a recipe. So this half a recipe makes about 3 nice creme brulees. Give that a nice mixture. Always make sure all your ingredients are whipped up nicely, all coagulated together. And then what we're gonna do is we're just gonna add that right to the ramekin. Don't fill it up all the way. You wanna fill it up about 3/4 of the way. You should be good to go. Oh yeah, looking good, looking good. Awesome. So last thing we want to do is add in some water to that, and I would recommend using something that you can actually pour it in there so it's not all messy. If your hands are a little bit shaky, I would recommend put this in the oven first, then put the water in it, because man, let me tell you, if you get that water in the creme brulee, you're done, it's over. Just add that. And what you're looking for with the water as far as the level is you want to come up about halfway up the ramekin. Now I have my oven set at about 310, 320. You can kind of play around with that when you guys are at home. I know that some people's ovens are a little bit different, so definitely check that. You don't need to cover it or anything like that. You just take it just as is. Walk very slowly, very carefully right to the oven that's preheated at 320 degrees. All right, so now we've had those in the oven for about 40 minutes. We're just gonna carefully take these out one by one. Very careful, they're nice and hot. Set those to the side. And I know you guys have spent all this time working and you're ready to just dig into it right away. Please discipline yourself because they have to go into the refrigerator and set for at least 4 hours, I would recommend. So I'm gonna throw these in the refrigerator. All right, looks like these are nice and perfect just the way I want it. As you see, it's just pretty much just a nice custard. Give it a little jiggle, nothing's moving. That lets you know that you let it rest long enough. If you ever pull these out and it's still moving, you need to put it in there and leave it in there for a couple more minutes, or a couple more hours, I should say. So here comes the fun part. All you big grown people out there that love to start things on fire, this is a perfect way for you. Please don't let your kids do it, just do it for them. You know, I wouldn't recommend doing this for little kids, that's for sure. So with the creme brulee, all you want to do is just take the sugar and just add the sugar right into the actual ramekin. And all you want to do is just move that around a little bit because you just want the sugar to coat it. You don't want to just, you know, shove all that sugar in there. It's definitely not a sugar topping. And then we're going to add the remainder of it to the other creme brulee. Give that a nice little shake. And I'm just using regular fine white sugar. I know some people, they'll tell you, oh, you gotta use this type of sugar, but what I realize that regular white sugar just works fine. And it's ingredients that I know you guys always have. If you guys ain't been paying attention to all of my episodes, I try and use all ingredients that are all natural and things that you would find in your refrigerator. Because the worst thing I want for you guys is to go do all this expensive grocery shopping on things that you're not gonna use all the time. So now comes the fun part. I got one of these little fancy creme brulee burners that I picked up at Cook's Corner, but you can find this at any one of your local cooking stores. And all you want to do is once you start it, kind of don't put the flame directly on it. You want to be probably about a ½ inch over it. And you're just going to try and go in like little circles. Whoop. And you're going to keep doing it. You'll eventually start to see it start to bubble and start to brown. That's why it's important to just keep going around, just like so. So now I'm creating that nice caramelized shell to go over that custard. Nice and smoky. So we'll push that one to the side and then we'll go ahead and finish the rest of them. Always remember, you guys, when you guys are at home and you see these recipes, understand that every single recipe is meant to be altered some type of way. So get creative, have some fun with it. If you don't like the Irish cream, don't add in the Irish cream. You know, if you want to actually add a little bit of chocolate chips, add some chocolates. Now you have a Irish cream chocolate creme brulee, which sounds pretty good. I might have to do that for one of my episodes. We got one more, and then we'll finish this up. And I know every time I hear creme brulee, you automatically think, oh, super fancy, five-star fine dine restaurant, but it really isn't. As you guys see, simple, basic ingredients. That's what I'm here for, America, to teach you the simple way of cooking fine dine. So last thing we want to do, most important thing we can ever do, is taste test. So let's go through a little remax what we did all day today. We started off with our Cherry Delight cream stuffed French toast with a cherry drizzle. And then my crew's been snacking on that Glorious Malone's pate and Shullsburg Colby sausage. And now we have our creme brulee, which, let's see, that one's cool. Set that up there, and let's give it a try. See how it tastes. You see how it has, can you guys hear that? So as you see, you can kind of hear that nice little crispiness, that glass, that cover that goes over that creme brulee. So we'll just dig right into that. That's the way it's supposed to taste. That's the way it's supposed to be. Oh, I think I hear somebody coming, so let me go ahead and get my last bite in before they come down here and demolish this. Breakfast, dessert breakfast. There you have it, you guys. We'll see you next week.
Cooking Like a Champion is produced by Creative Edge Productions.
Chef Champion here to take you on another culinary journey. Whether you want to cook like a champion or just have a champion cook for you, Chef Champion LLC is your one-stop shop to culinary goodness. We offer a variety of services like private dinners in your home, professional cooking classes, motivational speaking, recipe development, and more. Need your brand promoted? What better way than to have a champion represent your brand right here on my show? Hire me today for your personal Chef Champion culinary experience.